Nam yo ho ning ge ko 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 nam yo ho ning ge.
Hi, I'm Margaret, and this is the website where we take Buddhist philosophy and practice and apply it to the concerns and problems of everyday life. And this time our topic is, how do you chant if you're vague about your goal? And we have a question about this. Quote, I've been chanting for months now to find out what my passion is. Unfortunately, I can't seem to connect to my own prayer, and I keep feeling as though I should chant differently, perhaps word my prayer differently. In the past, I've always had success when chanting for concrete goals. But now that I'm chanting for something that seems so vague, I find it hard to focus. I keep feeling that the universe won't answer me because I'm being so vague. How exactly do I chant to tap into my talents and passions when I don't really know what I'm looking for? It's been a few months now, and there's been no wisdom emerging from my prayers. You're absolutely right that vague prayers do lead to a vague response. So why not try chanting to find a place where you can use your abilities? Your abilities, interests, and passions are all tied together. Then set a firm intention that you're going to find that place. Chanting with hope, but without a firm intention, can also result in a vague response. So, I have a question for you. What are you attracted to? We all have tendencies, and we gravitate towards certain interests. These are usually indicators of where our abilities and passions lie. My husband drew his first picture at 12 and loved working in a darkroom with a neighbor. He became a graphic designer, photographer, videographer. As a teen, I volunteered in a hospital and in a social agency and ended up working as a counselor in both. My son had a double paper route at age 9. He ended up by running his own business. So what do you gravitate towards? You may have not come across a place where you can use your abilities, but when you do, you're going to know what your passions are. You'll be entirely happy doing whatever it is that you're doing. Just a personal experience. I've always been interested in the growth and development of people. That's why I became a mental health counselor. That was pretty satisfying, but I knew there was something more. Once I got involved with spirituality, I realized the two needed to be combined. And I couldn't see how to do that since I had a professional license and was only allowed to do certain things in the mental health field. When I joined Nichiren Buddhism, I realized that the chanting practice was much better in helping people to grow than my counseling work had been. Then I retired and had a nudge to take a writing course. That led to finding my mission, writing books about the practice and the development of this website to help people get benefit from the practice. I find complete delight and satisfaction in helping people practice and watch their lives take a steady upward turn. I found what I was looking for. My professional training has been helpful in knowing when people need other kinds of support and help along with their practice. So I'm actually able to use all of my abilities. Now, when we chant for a goal, there are some things that we need to be aware of. One of is the ways answers can come. You've started a dialogue with the universe, and you need to pay attention as answers can come in different ways. You might find that you're having an internal quiet nudge to go one way or another. This little voice can be very quiet, but it's our infallible guidance system, so pay attention to it. Answers may come through other people or a book outside your chanting time. If you've asked the universe about something, pay attention to anything that relates to your question. Another thing we need to think about is, are you second-guessing any responses you're getting? It's easy not to trust the response of the universe. Our intellectual mind can lock in very quickly. But if you've asked for an answer and you've gotten one, Try to resist the tendency to second guess and instead follow through with the suggestion. This is where faith becomes important. If you trust your practice to guide you, then you can refuse to pay attention to the intellect, which questions everything. And I want to share with you an experience of a young woman who once told me she was chanting to know her direction, her mission in life, but that she wasn't receiving any answers. When we explored this further, it turned out she'd been getting nudges to take a course at the local community college. She had been mightily resisting doing this, questioning whether she would like it. We discussed the fact that she'd gotten the direction she'd asked for, but was not taking any action. Then her resistance to moving forward surfaced. Well, what if she didn't like the course? She would have wasted her time. Then she said that this indecisiveness had been a major lifelong problem and had kept her from moving forward with anything, keeping her whole life in limbo. This indecisiveness was the karma she needed to address first. I strongly encouraged her to follow through with the nudge as she had gotten an answer but wasn't taking action. The second half of the equation. Chant first, and when the universe responds, take action. After all, if she didn't do something and try out the course, she would never know. All of her fears about moving forward came to the surface. She turned to her husband and told him he would have to take her to sign up since she was so nervous about taking this step. He agreed to do that, saying it would be wonderful to see her get off dead center. The next thing I heard was that she was taking 3 courses at that community college and had clearly broken through the block to moving forward. So as we've just seen, often there can be real fears about moving forward. We may get the nudge, but then there's that resistance. Our practice can be quite helpful in dealing with those fears. Just chant till you no longer feel fear, and then take the action quickly before you start to get worried again. Or try challenging yourself. You've heard the old saw, feel the fear and do it anyway. Usually, the fear disappears when you take the action, and then you feel wonderful. You've had a victory. Daisaku Ikeda has written a daily encouragement book which gives lots of support around moving forward in your own way and is helpful in dealing with fears. Sometimes we don't follow through because we just don't see the path to our goal. Fortunately, ta-da, we don't have to know how we're going to get there. Just take the first step in faith, understanding you're only going to see to a corner in the path. But when you get to that point, then the path will unfold further. I believe the universe works through us when we chant and take action. Sometimes we don't move forward because our rational mind looks at our circumstances and only sees the obstacles, or we don't believe our goal can be reached. Maybe we're being told by people we know we're not being realistic. When we chant about something, we've started to walk in the spiritual world where different rules apply. We have to learn to ignore what our cultural training tells us, what's realistic, for example, and trust that our connection with the mystic law will guide us accurately. We need to muster our faith when doubts come to the fore. Do some study. You can look up things by topic in the indexes of the books, which you can order online at www.sgi-usa.org, or get guidance from an experienced practitioner to handle the doubts. The way I see it, when you chant about something, your attention's creating a blueprint in the unseen worlds. At some point, it's going to show up. If you give up on your intention, though, then that blueprint disintegrates and you have to start over. In summary, we've discussed the fact that vague goals lead to disappointing results. We looked at how the universe communicates with us through quiet little nudges to do this or that, through books and friends, anything pertaining to our goal. Then we examined the ways we might stop ourselves from moving forward, second-guessing the ideas we're getting, fears, and chanting but not taking action. Finally, we discussed the importance of faith, trusting our connection with the mystic law to guide us accurately when we can't see around the obstacles and we can't see the path to achieving our goal. And finally, when we have doubts, study or get guidance from an experienced practitioner. Here are some URLs that are on related topics that I think you might be interested in. The first is, do you know how the universe communicates with you? And the second, how to transition into your life's work. The third, practical Buddhism, handling obstacles. Now, as always, I'm interested in all of your thoughts and comments. And I have a question for you myself. Would any of you be interested in a monthly telephone call to discuss issues with the chanting practice? Let me know what you think. And I'll see you in 2 weeks.